All right. So greetings, YouTube. Beautiful mind here. Um, so this presentation will serve as we have for College Algebra. We have a critical thinking component that we need to do. So that's what we're going to take a look at here. Okay. So. So if we for College Algebra, if we go to our Moodle page and log in, at the top you'll see these two things at the top we need to do. We have this Math 109 assessment, so we need to be sure to go ahead and do that. Okay, you get one attempt as part of a quiz grade, so you want to be sure to do that. And then we have this Math 109 QEP critical thinking assessment. So you will click on the link, open the document. You can either fill it out digitally or you can print it out, write it, and then you have to create a PDF. So you can like load each image to like Microsoft Word and like make one document that you load. You have to load it back into Moodle for me to access this, right? You have to load it back here. Okay. So let's take a look at the document. I'm just gonna turn this up just a little bit. Okay, so when you open the document, it looks something like this, right? It's a critical thinking review. Recall the following critical thinking skills on inference, deduction, induction, analysis, and evaluation. Okay, in mathematics, each of these skills are important tools for coming to sound, reasonable answers to problems. Here we'll focus on evaluation and analysis. Okay, so you can read through this on your own, just kind of answer the questions, fill it out. You can work, in groups. I don't really mind you all working in groups or however you decide to do it. It's just that everybody needs to submit their own document. Okay, so here, like for instance, we have this problem introduction. Consider the following. A medical researcher wants to determine the effects of pH, a measure of alkalinity or acidity, with pure water having a pH of 7. Then we have this basically this chart, this like X and Y chart. Okay, so a scatter plot. Basically, you're going to plot the X and Y. So the X's are going to be a pH, Y's are going to be the number of bacteria, and you want to plot all of these ordered pairs. For this first plot, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have 8 ordered pairs. So a scatter plot is basically just plotting the X versus the Y. You can even do this using Excel. You can do it by hand. Okay. So you have to Google this stuff, connect with the tutors and things of that nature to make sure you're doing it right. So then we want to create this thing or this notion called the line of best fit. And so to kind of get a gist of what's going on with the line of best fit, it'll look something like the following. Okay. So the line of best fit, you'll have like your x-axis or your y-axis, x-axis, and you'll have, your scatter plot. So here's the positive X, here's the positive Y, and you'll have your data points. When you plot them, it'll be scattered about, right? So the line of best fit, you're trying to find a line that's closest. Let's just go like this, right? To all data points. Something kind of like, sort of like this, right? So this line of best fit is not going to actually go through all the points. You just want it to be as close to as many points as possible. And so to find this line of best fit, we have the following formula. I'm going to go ahead. So you should get an image that looks something kind of like this. And then, so we're going to be using this formula here. All right. So again, it's called linear regression. So again, you might want to like connect with a tutor or reach out to me. And you can work together. I don't mind everyone working together, but everyone does need to submit their own individual work back in the Moodle. So once you finish this document, you create a PDF. You can either print out the document, write it out by hand, make it nice, neat, and presentable. And then you can scan, like take a picture of each page and load it into Word. And so you can load each image back into Word, fill up the page, make it as big and presentable as possible. I use an app called TurboScan to make PDFs. So it's real quick. You have your dark background and you have your sheet of paper. When you take an picture of the page, it automatically like frames it and like gets it to the right proportions, orientation, or whatever. So yeah, I use this app called TurboScan. It's really easy for making PDFs. So let's take a moment to go through this formula. We have this least squares regression line. It's centered around the notion of y equals mx plus b right here. You see the m is your a and the b is the y-intercept. Okay. So with these set of ordered pairs, we're going to be using these formulas to solve for the slope and the y-intercept. So you might want to do a Google search on least squares regression line. You can actually type these data points, the original data points, into like Excel or numbers, and it'll create this for you. I think a lot of graphing calculators can find this line of best fit, this a and this b. It can solve it for you as well. So you're gonna have to Google it, connect it to tutors, reach out to me to kind of do this. But the main reason I'm doing this, my intent for this presentation today is I just want to kind of take a moment to go through these symbols and notation here, right? So this a is basically the slope from y equals mx plus b, and this b is the same as the y-intercept as normal. So to calculate these for this line of best fit, n is going to be the number of data points. So I think we had 8 ordered pairs in that, in the earlier example of the xy chart. This symbol is called the sigma. It's called a sigma, like the Greek letter sigma is the capital letter sigma. In this context, it means summation. Summation in this context just means add up your answers, right? So when we see this symbol, it means add up x times y. So if we go back to our chart where we had our 8 data sets, this is basically saying the first x times the first y plus the second x times the second y plus the third x times the third y plus the fourth x times the fourth y plus, until you get to the end of that list of 8 ordered pairs, right? So again, this symbol is called sigma or summation. It's called sigma, but it means summation or add up your answers. So the first times the first, plus the second times the second, plus the third times the third, until you get to the end of the list. For instance, if we look at this one, take a moment to see, can you decide what does this one mean by itself? All right. Well, this one is saying add up all your x's, right? So the first x value plus the second x value plus the third x value plus the fourth x value until you get to the end of the list. Take a moment to see if you can understand what this one means. This one is saying add up all your y values. So take the first y value plus the second y value plus the third y value until you get to the end of that list. Take a moment to see if you can understand what this one means. Okay. So this one is saying the first x value squared plus the second x value squared plus the third x value squared plus the fourth x value until you get to the end of the list. All right. Take a moment to see if you can understand what this one means. Okay. This one is saying the first x value plus the second x value plus the third x value till you get to the end of the list, and then whatever answer you get from once you add all those up, you're going to square that answer. All right. Notice this squared is inside, so you do it first, but this one's on the outside. Okay. So that's pretty much the long and short of what I wanted to mention here with this document. I just wanted to take a moment to go over these symbols and explain what they mean. Okay, so you want to get this submitted as soon as possible. We're kind of entering the home stretch. So I know we're at the end of week 6. I think I went on and made the remainder assignments available for the rest of the quarter. I think tomorrow exam 3 is due, Saturday by midnight, and then the next week we have the remainder sections due. So sections 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, and 5-1. I just made those available. They're due next Saturday. And I think I also went back and reduced the late penalty for all assignments from 20% to 10%. That includes quizzes, exams, and homework. So what that means is that you can actually still get an A on any assignment up until I think it's like May 16th. We have about 2 weeks before we really got to wrap everything up. Okay. So you get unlimited attempts at all of these assignments. They are available. I went on and made all the assignments for the rest of the quarter available. Be on the lookout for the final exam in the next couple coming days. And I want to give you some time to work on that as well. Okay. Unlimited attempts, so you can essentially get an A if you want it. Okay. Yeah, that's essentially what I wanted to speak about with that document. So with that, we're going to end the session here, and from one beautiful mind to another, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.